Jack and Annie's treehouse spun wildly, a blur of green leaves and sunlight. When it finally stopped, a warm, humid breeze wafted through the window, carrying the scent of exotic flowers and something else, something ancient and dusty. "Whoa!" Annie breathed, peering out. Below them, a vibrant, sprawling jungle stretched to the horizon, dotted with towering, strangely shaped mountains. But it was the structure directly beneath them that stole their breath. A magnificent, intricately carved wooden temple, its roof curling upwards like the wings of a giant bird. Jack, ever the pragmatist, was already flipping through the book he'd found on their last adventure. This looks like Southeast Asia," he mumbled, his finger tracing a map. "And this temple, it says here it's the Temple of the Moonlight Dragon, hidden deep in the jungles of ancient Siam." Suddenly, a high-pitched cry pierced the air. A flash of emerald and gold darted past the window, so close Jack almost bumped his head. "What was that?" Annie whispered, her eyes wide. Jack consulted the book again. "The legend says the temple is guarded by a magical creature, a moonlight dragon. It's supposed to protect a precious jewel, the eye of the dragon, which brings wisdom to its holder." As if on cue, a shimmering, scaled head, no bigger than a kitten's, poked through the treehouse window. Its eyes, the color of twilight, blinked slowly. It wasn't fearsome at all. In fact, it looked curious. "It's beautiful!" Annie gasped, reaching out a hesitant finger. The little dragon nudged her hand, its scales surprisingly soft. "It doesn't look like it's guarding anything," Jack observed, a grin spreading across his face. "Maybe it wants to show us something." The dragon let out a soft, chittering sound, and then, with a graceful flick of its tail, zipped down towards the temple roof. Jack and Annie scrambled out of the treehouse and onto a long, moss-covered walkway that led to the temple entrance. Inside, the air was cool and still. Dust motes danced in the shafts of light filtering through the high windows. Statues of serene, smiling figures lined the walls, and the scent of old wood filled the air. The little dragon, who they decided to call Moonbeam, fluttered ahead, leading them deeper into the temple's labyrinthine passages. They followed Moonbeam through echoing corridors and into a grand central chamber. In the center, on a pedestal carved with swirling dragons, sat a single, luminous gem. It pulsed with a soft, silvery light, illuminating the chamber with an otherworldly glow. "The eye of the dragon!" Jack breathed, awestruck. As they approached, the light from the gem intensified, casting dancing shadows on the walls. Suddenly, the chamber began to rumble. The stone floor vibrated beneath their feet. "Earthquake?" Annie cried, clutching Jack's arm. But it wasn't an earthquake. From the shadows, a towering, ancient guardian made entirely of moss-covered stone slowly rose, its eyes glowing with a faint orange light fixed on the children. It held a massive, gnarled staff. Moonbeam let out a series of frantic chirps, fluttering protectively between Jack, Annie, and the guardian. "It looks like it's protecting the gem," Jack realized. The book said the dragon guards it, but maybe it meant the temple guardian protects it and the dragon is just part of the magic. The stone guardian took a lumbering step forward, raising its staff. Jack's mind raced. He knew they couldn't fight it. There had to be another way. He looked at Moonbeam, then at the pulsating gem. "The book said the gem brings wisdom," Jack muttered to Annie. maybe it's not about taking it, but understanding it. He remembered something else from the book, a faint footnote about ancient Siamese rituals involving music and respect. Annie, do you remember that flute melody we learned in music class? The one that sounded like a bird song? Annie's eyes lit up. She pulled a small wooden recorder from her backpack. Taking a deep breath, she began to play. The clear, sweet notes filled the ancient chamber, echoing off the stone walls. As the melody soared, something incredible happened. The stone guardian paused. Its glowing eyes seemed to soften. The moss on its body shimmered, and tiny, glowing flowers began to bloom on its surface. Moonbeam, caught in the magic of the music, twirled in the air, its scales catching the light from the gem. The guardian slowly lowered his staff, its head tilted as if listening intently. When Annie finished the song, the chamber was silent, except for the gentle hum of the gem. Then, to their amazement, the guardian bowed its head, a deep, resonant rumble escaping its stony chest. It stepped aside, revealing a small, hidden alcove behind the pedestal. Inside the alcove, not another jewel, but an ancient, leather-bound scroll lay nestled amongst fragrant jasmine flowers. Jack carefully unrolled it. The scroll was covered in exquisite drawings of plants and animals, and a single, elegant symbol at the top. "It's not about a jewel to take," Jack whispered, a sense of wonder filling him. "The wisdom isn't in a physical thing. It's in the understanding of nature, of the balance of the world. The Moonlight Dragon wasn't guarding a treasure for us to take, but a lesson." Moonbeam nuzzled against the scroll, its eyes gleaming with an ancient understanding. The stone guardian, still and serene, seemed to nod. Jack and Annie knew their adventure in ancient Siam was complete. They had found not a glittering gem, but a deeper wisdom, a secret whispered by the moonlight and the jungle itself. With Moonbeam flying alongside them, they hurried back to the treehouse, ready for their next magical journey, knowing that sometimes the greatest treasures are the ones you can't hold in your hand.